सर्वभूतेषु शक्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु मातृरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु मीरारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। पूज्य माँ भगवती, पूज्य श्री अरविंद, you all are members of our Savitri mission. Our churning on the mind of sales by Satprem is our willful exercise to have the clear-cut gist of the whole of agenda, and that too in the light of Savitri. Savitri, the exposition of inner self of Sri Aurobindo in this birth, the ascent on the part of the psychic of Sri Aurobindo as incarnate, and the descent of supramental on physical being, vital being and mental being of Sri Aurobindo personally. Up till 5th of December 1950. Agenda, as you refer to its all different volumes, you might have noted in the beginning the whole of the world index is put up there. There are all greater events throughout the year. Noted down, and a list, complete list is given there prior to you start reading and digesting agenda, because it is not merely an individual sadhana of the mother, as the supreme yogic authority of Sri Aurobindo Ashram, but the sadhana of world mother, as it is typically and symbolically projected, depicted in Srimad Bhagavat as Aradhika. The soul originated from the Supreme as Radha before 5,000 years back. the same soul accepted this assignment of mind of light from Sri Aurobindo on 5th December 1950. So, the incarnate of Lord Kalki, the self-projection towards one and one ultimate and final self-assumed assignment by the Divine, by the Supreme, is to transform entire existence, that is, entire manifestation of self of the Divine, into total divinization, that is light divine. And that too by the dual personality of Shiva and Shakti as Radha and Krishna, the de novo relativity. And that is what the very reason why Sri Aurobindo in Savitri developed one formula of yoga of ascent, yoga of King Ashwapati, the universalization of the sadhana and yoga of King Ashwapati is the sadhana of the Supreme. And that sadhana of the Supreme ultimately changed the determination of the entire movement or entire motion, entire scenario of the evolution. It matters not whether the movement as such was understood by science, physics, scientists, or even especially by Charles Darwin in his theory of evolution. But it is the spiritual progress of the manifestation that matters. The spiritual progress of manifestation of the Divine as His Ananda, His Paramanand, His truth consciousness in totality for the manifestation of the bliss. That was the sole objective prior to the existence. The existence in whatever form came into being was the very first step towards the manifestation taken up by the Supreme. Now, second time, the same phenomenon took place, and Mother declared Sri Aurobindo is a direct action. Sri Aurobindo is a decisive action direct from the Supreme. Now, another world is to be manifested, but on the pedestal of the existence which was there in the being at that time. So it was incomplete. It was to be still progressed, it was to be still enhanced. And the next step of evolution is not merely the traditional or the conventional evolution which was in motion at that time, but it was to be so powerfully, decisively, and in an accelerated way enhanced That was the determination on the part of Sri Aurobindo as decisive action direct from the Supreme, and that was assigned to the Mother as Mahashakti on 5th of December. Now, that mind of light transmitted to the Mother started working in the direction of total divinization of the entire existence. This is the objective. While taking notes of agenda direct from the Mother, as Mother received the force, power, supramental, mind of light direct from Sri Aurobindo, similarly Satprem also learned, comprehended and tried sincerely to digest the same transmission from Mother throughout the wider span of 6,000 pages. And this is the gist of it. This is the formula of it. So in formula, we must have at least the estimate to what height Mother has reached during her sadhana up to 1973. This is the continued flux of a divinity from supreme height to the plane of earth, that is manifestation. So in the clear-cut terms of science, if we try to understand, it is new relativity that is to be launched, that is to be activated, and that is to be projected in a visible way on the surface of the earth as life divine. And that is why in Savitri, Sri Aurobindo categorically depicted the height of the sadhana of King Ashwapati as he broke into another time and space. So another time and space means the old time and old space are not to be dissolved, are not to be annihilated, but are to be reprojected, are to be remolded, are to be reformulated, are to be recreated, are to be regrown into divinity, and that is life divine. But is a continuity. There is no break whatsoever in the flow of the consciousness direct from the Supreme to the plane of the earth. But it's exactly the vision, and Mother saw that vision, that this is my process, this is my scenario, and this is my target. But it's exactly the vision of the physical continuum. Satprem notes it down as physical continuum. The experiment as such is to be launched on the surface of the earth physically. So, physical transformation of earth and physical transformation of an individual, both the programming are to be simultaneously conducted, is utmost difficult task, because up till now moksha is set out as an objective because no trial was conducted on the earth by an individual rishis to transform their physical body in order to achieve the permanent status of immortality. Immortality was accepted as ideal, immortality was accepted as target, but immortality as a target to be achieved, no process whatsoever was launched on the earth. No process was launched in practical life of an individual, how far highest he might be as Rishi or as Vibhuti or as even incarnate. No incarnation of Srimad Bhagavat had ever thought of launching life divine or transforming the physical world as it was launched and conducted this time. So the clear-cut vision that has shown Mother this continuity, that this is the progress towards this target, and Mother always tries to convince herself whether I am going in the right direction or not. I am going in the right direction under the guidance of Sri Aurobindo or not. And that is what we have definitely noted, that many a times Mother saw with her own eyes, with her physical eyes, as Arjun saw with his physical eyes the Virat, Mother also saw with her physical eyes the supramental body of Sri Aurobindo, that is individualized Virat. That is continuum, physical continuum. I see now, Mother says, this is the quote of the Mother, I see now, I can see now with my physical eyes. Arjun did not see. In Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Arjun said, now I cannot see, I cannot see. Let me have your original form. Lord Krishna, let me have your original form. That is what the very first sloka of the 12th chapter. Mother notes it down. I can see now. I see now. It's like a oneness. It's like a oneness. Individual Lord Krishna is Virat Lord Krishna. I can see the bridge. I can see oneness. There is no difference. Now I would like to see Lord Krishna. Arjun addresses Lord Krishna and say, now I cannot see you in this Virat form. Let me have your original form. Means Virat and original are two separate images and two separate experiences for Arjun. For Mother, they are one. So this is the difference. This is the difference in target, and this is the difference in process too. It's like a oneness made of countless billions, at least billion dots, billion forms. Billions and billions of forms are there in Virat. Entire universe is there in Virat, but still it is connected with my individual consciousness right now at this point of time. My dot is also connected with this because I am the seer. I can see it. I see now. So this is the dimensional difference between the experience of Arjun at that time and experience of Mother at this point of time. A single consciousness, see, single is written in capital letters. A single consciousness made of countless brilliant dots conscious of themselves. The entire Virat had entered into my single consciousness. My consciousness is individualized, but still I can hold, I can bear, I can live the same horizon of the same Virat simultaneously. There is no question of contradiction, but there is no question of difference too. There is no difference. So I can live on the earth not as human being, not as Vibhuti, not as incarnate, but as Virat too individualized. That is life divine. So Sri Aurobindo reached that highest height of ascent for the whole universe. Now Mother started living the highest height of manifestation on the earth, on the planet. That is life divine. And it is not the sum of those dots. It is not a sum at all. It is one. It is not the total. It is integrality, total integrality. It is total oneness. It is oneness without any distinction. As Supreme is one, they are absolute. Here Supreme is oneness in perfect relativity. So this is the difference of manifestation. Total there of superconscient or Om Tat Sat Rutam Bruhat Satyam, invisible. Here the same total is made visible, and visible to ordinary physical individualized consciousness, that is dot. Why dot is put here instead of individualized consciousness, instead of individual? Mother says dot because it is a wave. Individual consciousness living as individual is nothing but wave. Physicality is also wave, vitality is also wave, and mentality in that individual is also wave. It is a wave, and that is why it is dot. So all dots, it means all multitude of the existence, multiplicity of the entire existence can be born and held up by one single consciousness of the Mother. But an innumerable oneness, but an innumerable oneness. If you can experience innumerableness, multiplicity, and oneness too. You can look to oneness, you can look to multiplicity. This is the Virat in the format of life divine. The very use of words makes it sound stupid. If I try to explain you, it appears to be stupidity on my part. I cannot explain it fully as I experience right now. And I try to put it just before you, a very, very, very dim image of it. It's not perfect. It's a very dim image. If Mother feels incapacity, what she saw and she sees at that moment, at this dot of time, she could not express in toto. Everything becomes a living consciousness. Everything becomes a living consciousness. It is not hallucination nor illusion, it's a living consciousness. Living is also written here in capital. A living consciousness. Each thing emanates its own consciousness and exists because of it. It is the consciousness that exists. It is the consciousness that individualized physicality. It is the consciousness that is individualized vitality. And it is the consciousness that is individualized mentality. It is the oneness. At individual level also oneness, at universal level also it is oneness. But it is new relativity. Because it is projected from the Supreme, from the absolute invisible consciousness, but in toto on the earth. In these triple forms, in triple forces. In Savitri, This is the yoga of Savitri, lived by the mother. So there it was indicated by Sri Aurobindo. Before mother launched this programming here on the earth practically. Triple soul forces, the triple soul forces were presented. Here mother lived these triple soul forces with individuality also. Individuality are three different mental layers presented there in Savitri. That also mother lived. Innumerableness, it means innumerableness is also experience, concrete experience of mother, and oneness is also the concrete experience of mother. So oneness of the triple soul forces and innumerableness is the triple mental forces as presented before Madonna of suffering, mother of might, and mother of light. So that duality is new relativity. The duality which is presented in Savitri by Sri Aurobindo in order to project the yoga of Savitri, the yoga of descent. Here mother is passing through the actual programming of that yoga of descent, symbolically presented in Savitri, here practically launched by the mother and practically experienced by the mother. That is what she dictated down to Satprem. Consciousness and exists because of it. For example, a second or a minute before the clock chimes or before someone enters my room or even stirs, I know it in consciousness, because there is no distance, there is no space, it is new space. So whether one enters in the room or not makes no difference. One is immediately taken cognizance of. That is the horizon, Virat horizon, wider horizon, horizon of the Virat. A whole world of small microscopic phenomena which constitutes a new way of living and seems a product of the consciousness. See, it is a new way of living. It's a new way of existing rather. It is a new way of existing for our understanding. This is new relativity. Bypassing what we call knowledge, bypassing what we call cognizance. We know it or not, but it is there. It is the part of our own consciousness. It is the projection of our own consciousness. By perception we can learn. It's not by knowledge. By knowledge means by mind, and by perception means by psychic, by triple forces of soul, as it is presented there in Savitri, triple forces of Savitri. And progress is also indicated in Savitri. When I will see the face of God, when I will get the face of God, I will come back to you. I will come back to mentality, I will come back to vitality, I will come back to physicality. Though Virat I am, I will bring the whole Virat to mentality, vitality and physicality individually and universally too. For example, once in a while I hear people talking about one thing or another and saying, I will be like this and like that. Immediately it triggers in me a sort of tactile vision of the thing. What shall I say? It's like a vision and touch, and it's neither one, it's both together. It's the thing as it is. So universality and oneness. individuality and oneness, form and formless. I can be simultaneously. So formed or formlessness, neither of these is my limitation at present, my single limitation of my single consciousness at present. That is what I am experiencing. It's like vision and touch, and it's neither one, it's both together. It's the thing as it is, it's that. A consciousness free of any mental element. A consciousness free of any mental element. Three different minds are presented there before Savitri. Madonna of suffering also is there, and that Titanic mind is also there. Madonna of light is also there, and reasoning mind is also there. So the mental world and the psychic world, rather, for our understanding, mental world is world individualized, egocentric world, and psychic world, the world of the Virat put in miniature. World of the Virat put into a miniature of the entire cosmos. So microscopic existence and macroscopic existence both can coexist. Both can coexist, and that is what Mother sees both these dimensions not differently, with perfect integration. So this is macroscopic integration, and there is microscopic integration too within her body. So very difficult. A consciousness free of any mental element, and it's so clear to me, it is very clear to the Mother, and so minutely precise, like a direct contact with the thing as it is. So it is my direct contact with the Virat, it's my direct contact with the Supreme, though living in this human body. Weakest human body at the age of 92 or 93, the weakest human body as such, still I have the contact with the Supreme directly. As it is, it's another way of living, it's another way of living. It is another way of living, another way of relativity. Our human living is committed to present relativity. This is something over and above that. It is another living committed to this divine relativity. And divine relativity is not the relativity of E is equal to mc square, it is the relativity of E is equal to infinity. That is immortality. Life based on absolute consciousness, where form is also consciousness and center is also consciousness. Consciousness of that form is also supreme consciousness, and form of this consciousness is also supreme consciousness. So it is the consciousness in the form and in the formless live simultaneously together. That is the perfect integration. And perfect integration is the integration where there is no limitation, there is only truth, Satyam, Rutam, and Bruhat too. So Bruhat is the cosmos, Satyam is the core reality, absolute reality, and Rutam is the absolute consciousness of Om Tat Sat. These three are together in Virat, in the format of Virat, as well as individualized consciousness living together. That is the experience at this moment. While dictating this to Satprem, Mother was passing through this state of consciousness. It's as if everything were being seen for the first time and from a completely different angle. This is for the first time I am seeing, and this is from a different angle. What is first time and what is different angle, we will see in the next session. Jai Mataji.